Greetings, everybody. Welcome. I apologize. I just looked and I realized that I have missed a couple of weekly walkthroughs. I'm so sorry about that. The weekends have been getting a little crazy, and I guess I just thought I posted something that I didn't post. So somebody has to do better with her to-do list, and I am gonna do that soon, starting with this week. So, just to kind of recap where we are halfway through the semester because this is week 8. So, let's take a look at where we are. I know that most of you have been working towards your formal analytical reports. We're in that season, so it's kind of a big project and with multiple pieces. So let's go ahead and take a look, though, at where we are and where you can get some extra help if you need help deciding what to do for the for the analytical report. Oh my gosh, my brain. You can definitely tell it's a Monday, so I apologize in advance for my brain. All right, so we are now looking at the course. As you can see, just a reminder on the front page, of course, we have the calendar. So I will remind you that this week is our final week before spring break. It's very interesting because Lake Sumter started a week after Valencia, but Valencia has our spring break the week after your spring break. Don't know why, don't know what happened. Probably has something to do with the public school schedule. I know they try to sync those up with, in your case, Lake and Sumter County. But anyway, we are working on the FAR. Okay, so far, hopefully, you have turned in your topic choice and your initial bibliography. Um, I did return all of the tech documents yesterday. So if you have revisions to make on those, you have a week from the time that I graded them. So I know it was initially supposed to be done last week, but if you haven't gotten it back, you can't make changes. Remember that in order to earn those bonus points, you do have to make substantive changes, and you should address all of the issues that are brought up in the feedback. So keep that in mind. So this week, you're going to be taking a quiz on presentations and turning in the outline of your formal analytical report with a new bibliography, just showing, if there are sources that you have added, have subtracted, whatever, you'll be reporting that. The FAR itself is not due for a little while yet, but if you want to keep working on that and get extra help with it over the spring break time, it's fine. As I mentioned, you guys know I work full-time at Valencia, and we are not on spring break next week. We are on spring break the week after. So if you need me during the week next week, it's fine. Just reach out. I will still be available. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's take a look at the current assignments. Actually, let me go through the different pieces of the FAR that we have covered so far, since I thought I had posted videos that I did not post. So we first have the formal analytical report topic choice. And what you write your formal analytical report about is largely up to you. It is a major project. It is the major project for the semester. So this should be something substantial. This is going to be more than a 2 or 3 page kind of report. The best way to go about picking a topic, and I will give you feedback on those. I know they've been turned in and I haven't gotten them back to you, but I will, is to think about either the field of study or work that you want to go into or some other area of interest. And then you want to think about what's called a research question. So, for example, if I were going to focus on something that, say, is not my job or what I want to get an education in, but something that I'm working on, a goal that I'm working on. So, one of the things that I'm doing this year is I have two Disney races scheduled. One is a 10 miler in April, and the other is the half marathon at Disneyland in September. And so training for long distance races is part of what I'm working on right now. So a research question that might be related to that is what can someone do to prepare for a longer run, walk, run, whatever you want to do with it. Um, I'm not doing a marathon, but I could put it in those terms. So, for example, at Disney races, there's 5K, 10K. In April is the only 10 miler and a half marathon. And then in January is the only full marathon. But those are the distances that you can participate in with Run Disney. Now, those are also there's plenty of other places that run races and things like that. But since I'm doing it through Run Disney, I might focus on Run Disney. And one of the common tactics at Run Disney events is called the Galloway method. And there's a local guy who invented the Galloway method. It is a run walk interval system. I would research that. I would include that in this report. I could also research other people's ideas about how to train for long races, that sort of thing. I would probably focus on Run Disney because that's what I'm doing, but I could just make it about marathon running in general, and I could, focus on all the research around that. There's almost no limit to what you could do a formal analytical report on. With any of it, you want to make sure that you have the ability to break it down into component pieces. So, for example, in the running situation, training would be one of the subsections. Money, cost would be one of the subsections because that is a big factor in preparing for these races. So those are the kinds of things that I would break it down into, multiple things there. So on the report choice, of course, it's really just you telling me what you're doing. I'm not necessarily going to say no to anything unless I can see that, oh gosh, you're going to really struggle to get a good amount of writing about this, and then I may give you some advice. But most of you will have picked things that are perfectly acceptable. The second item, which was due yesterday, is the initial bibliography. As always, the formal analytical report is listed here so you can read the full assignment for the formal analytical report. In this particular assignment, you needed a APA-styled bibliography with at least 10 potential sources for your formal analytical report. They need to be full APA citations, does need to have APA style, so there should be a cover page. There's nothing else, so you wouldn't have the document itself would normally begin on page 2. You're just going straight to the bibliography, so you would have a cover page and then the bibliography. This is not an annotated bibliography. I know some of you read into it and did that, and that's absolutely fine. It was not required. These are just citations. Next is, of course, what we just talked about earlier, which is the updated outline and bibliography. So now it's going to look kind of the same as the last one. You'll have a cover page, but instead of the bibliography being on page 2, the outline will be on page 2. The outline should list all of the sections that you plan on covering, and you can use as much detail under each one of those as you want. But I just want to make sure that you have a plan. Okay, so that's what the outline is there to show. And that is your last assignment before going on spring break. When we get back from spring break, you're going to be turning in a draft of the full document, and you're going to be using one another to peer review those. You can also, of course, get additional help from me, from the writing centers, all those good things. So that's where we're going with this particular assignment. Now, this week in the modules, let me show you what is available to help you with the information because, of course, we also have the presentations quiz that is due at the end of this week. Oops, that's not what I meant to click. I meant to click that. This week we have the fully online textbook. Of course, there's nothing new to read this week, but I always like to put that here in case you need it. We have a document that I wrote actually many years ago now, but about doing effective presentations. We have help on how to film a presentation. I do want to note that we, during COVID, we had some problems with people getting a live audience together. And so I no longer require that. However, if you have the ability to have someone film you doing your presentation, that is ideal. So having an audience is a benefit to you. It is not a requirement, but it is always better to report to people instead of just to a video camera. There's a guide for PowerPoint if you need it. And then, of course, we have the link to the assignments. So there's tons of good stuff in here. It's not a ton of new information, but that's what you're working on this week. So make sure that you take the quiz and turn in that outline and bibliography prior to running away for spring break, if you're going anywhere for spring break. And if you're not, well, I'll be here too. So it's all going to be great. But thank you guys for your patience and for keep your questions coming. If you need help with anything, please do let me know. Like I said, we're halfway through the semester. The withdrawal date is at the end of March. So you have this entire month. If you've fallen behind on any classes, you do have this month to kind of make sure you can get caught up before you have to make a decision about withdrawing or not withdrawing. So I'll remind you though when it gets closer to time. In the meantime, take care. Have a great week 8, and I will see you after spring break. There won't be a video next week, obviously, because you guys are on spring break. So take care.